Good evening, everyone. I now call this meeting to order at 7:01. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will now ask for a moment of silence for those that are prisoners of war or missing in action. Thank you. Secretary Billups, can you please have a roll call?
Yes. Thank you. Secretary Billups is here. Vice President Minnick.
Here.
Councilor Wagner. Here. President Tunis.
Here.
Councilor Banto.
Yes.
Councilor Brandis is running a little late, but she'll be here. Councilor Andrusco is excused. Councilor Wentz.
Here.
Councilor Silva.
Here.
Thank you. Councilor Blackwell is excused. Councilor McNeely.
Here.
And of course, we have our Honorable Mayor Ed Brown. Excuse me, we have our Chief Administrative Officer Crandall Jones. We have Solicitors Clark and Gallagher. We have our Chief Municipal Clerk Kate Doggett. And we have the officers in the back. And we also have some department heads here. And of course, we have all of you, the residents of Upper Darby. How y'all doing today? Good, good.
Thank you. Thank you, Secretary Billups. Prior to this meeting, council had executive session on potential litigation regarding a contract and audit of a township vendor. Council members, I have a couple procedural asks regarding the agenda. I will ask council if we can recognize Master Max Eggy prior to the rules of meeting decorum in the public forum.
Agreed.
Yes.
Is that okay with members of council?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
All right, if there's no issues with that, I will now give the floor to Mayor Ed Brown.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we have the honor of recognizing someone very special, someone who has showed courage, responsibility, and awareness well beyond his years. Please join me in welcoming Max Eggy, who is just 5 years old and already a hero in the eyes of this community. Let me tell you a little bit about Max. Max is a kindergartner student at St. Bernadette School in Drexel Hill, where he attends along with his twin sister, Cecilia. On Saturday, September 20th, 2025, just before 6 o'clock in the evening, Max was playing outside on his front porch on Harding Drive when he noticed something alarming. Smoke and flames coming from the grill area of a neighbor's house just a few doors away. Without hesitation, Max did exactly what we hope every citizen, young and old, would do in an emergency. He ran to alert his parents, Bernadette and Brian, and together they called 911. Meanwhile, other neighbors stepped in with fire extinguishers to try and control the situation. Because of Max's quick actions, the Upper Darby Township Fire Department was dispatched to 1140 Harding Drive for a reported grill fire extending to nearby homes. Thanks to the rapid response of our firefighters and to Max's alert, the fire was contained before it spread inside the homes and no one was hurt. Max's fast thinking and calm response directly contributed to preventing serious damage or injury that day. His actions remind us all, especially during October, National Fire Prevention Month, that fire safety is something everyone should take seriously, no matter their age. So tonight, on behalf of the Upper Darby Township Council, our fire department, and this entire community, we are proud to recognize Max Eggy as our honorary Junior Firefighter of the Year. Just have a little bit more information. Max, we are presenting you with a special firefighter bobblehead engraved in your honor to thank you for your actions and remind others of what a difference one person, even one very young person, can make. Let's all give another round of applause for junior firefighter Max Eggy, a true example for us all.
I believe Max and his family can come up.
Max.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
You in the middle, big guy with the trophy. Get in the middle there. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Max and his family, and the Upper Darby Fire Department. Thank you. Chris? Before moving forward to the next item on the agenda, I have two procedural acts. The council, solicitors, if we could just brief the public on the email. Counselors? Sorry, I'm just trying to keep you guys informed. If we could just brief the public on the agenda change, and then I will go into the second procedural ask.
Certainly. At the last meeting, council authorized for advertisement an ordinance that relates to a parking lease agreement. We were unable to get that advertised for this evening, so it has been advertised for the November meeting. And we've worked with the CAO's office and Ms. Doggett to figure out a procedure so that we can work with the Delco Times advertising schedule in the future.
I'm sorry, Solicitor, if you could just repeat that with the mic a little closer. I apologize, it was kind of hard to hear.
I assure you my mic is on.
Yeah.
There was at the last meeting, the council authorized for advertising an ordinance related to parking and a lease agreement. And we were unable to get that advertised for this evening, so it has been advertised for the November meeting for council's consideration. And we've worked with the CAO's office and Ms. Doggett to create a procedure to expedite that so we can meet the Delco Times' advertising requirements in the future.
Thank you. My second procedural ask is today at 1:48 p.m., our Honorable Mayor Ed Brown and our CAO, Crandall Jones, and myself received an email from 7th District Councilperson Jess Brannis submitting her resignation that will be effective tomorrow, October 16th. Based on advice from our solicitors, I'll now ask council if I can add this to the agenda for council to accept the resignation under the president's section of the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Wagner, seconded by Councilor Billups. There's a motion and second on the floor. Is there any questions from members of council? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we will address that under the president's report. Thank you all for your consideration to those procedural efforts. The next item on the agenda is rules of meeting decorum. Upper Darby residents have the opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. Residents are prohibited from making threats, using profanity, or acting in a manner that would impede or prevent the conduct of business at the meeting. Any person who attends the meeting and makes remarks, disrupts, or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting after receiving a verbal warning may be required to leave the meeting at the discretion of the council president. Public forums should not exceed 30 minutes. If a resident chooses to ask questions, they are voluntarily giving up their time for a response. This means that the 3-minute timer will continue to run no matter who is speaking. The timer will be clearly displayed on the screen to my left. I'll just ask residents, we are neighbors. If someone has the floor and their timer is running, please give them the respect to let them speak, okay? One person has the mic at a time, and I'll just ask if we can all honor that tonight. Secretary Billups?
First is William Scott.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Ed Brown, and to council, thank you for the time. Just want to keep it short and sweet. Obviously, we know we're here tonight for the council because we're talking about the budget. Hopefully that we can make this a fair, transparent, and accountable budget that'll be responsible for the folks, for all of us residents and concerned citizens that live in Upper Darby, that we make it a budget that will not be regressive or impose any undue burdens and still take care of the problems we need to take care of. As we take care of our police department, our fire department, we have unfortunately, we have crime going up in our areas. You see that with our schools. We have all sorts of unrest over there. We need to get the homeless situation taken care of in this area. If we can just do that, and hopefully, with wisdom, you guys can make a budget that we can actually make and look forward to, hopefully the next couple of weeks to actually go and do an audit on it and maybe make this a better place and a more wonderful place to live. That is, a good place for all residents, no matter what stripe or political party they're in. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Connie Cone.
The GOP, grifting old pedophiles, MAGA, molesters and grooming abusers, as they won't take accountability for their actions, or as usual, they always play the blame game. Robert Morris, a MAGA pedophile pastor and spiritual advisor to Trump, was convicted of having sex with a 12-year-old girl. He received a 10-year sentence, but will only serve 6 months in the local jail. Ray Holmberg, an 81-year-old MAGA North Dakota state senator, the longest-serving MAGA in history, convicted of having sex with 12-year-old boys, bragged to his friends that no one is ever too young. It'll be decadent, but oh so much fun, bro, as he encouraged friends to join him on his pedo sexcapades. Just like many MAGAs want to screw little children, they also want to screw the country with this government shutdown. Just like they screwed our township by selling off our hospital to private equity, looting it to the tune of $600 million, as the looters ran off and left a hole of $13 million in unpaid taxes. Some more examples too. Mark Sanchez, a MAGA man attacking a 69-year-old man in Indianapolis. The MAGA governor said, oh, of course he was stabbed because so many fatherless African-American youths are running around at night. Turns out it was a MAGA man beating up an old man trying to do his job. RJ May, South Carolina state rep, convicted of distributing child sex abuse material. Why did MAGA shut down the government? To prevent the Epstein files from coming out. More pedophile protection. To bring back slavery Air traffic controllers and the TSA are working for free and to destroy our health care. MAGA wants to eliminate health care subsidies for millions of Americans who rely on these to have a reasonable monthly premium. We need protection from these MAGA molesters, pedo pastors, and private equity criminals. We need judges who will prosecute these citizens above suspicion that are the biggest thieves and perverts on the planet. Stop letting the billionaires off the hook. I encourage everyone to vote and retain the Democratic judges and kick the MAGA molesters to the curb. Stop the grifting old pedophiles. Stop MAGA molesters and grooming abusers. And locally, we have a MAGA man admitting he's stalking children at the
Thank you, Ms. Khan. Your time is up. Thank you, Ms. Khan.
Thank you. Next is Jeannie Mobley. Sorry.
Hello. Last month, I was talking about the different experiences initiated by motion detector lights. The car speeding by, oblivious, versus the pedestrian, very possibly a child, feeling like a target. A third might be the warm, fuzzy feeling the homeowner gets when the lights are turned on at their arrival, as though the house is greeting them, which is an illusion. The feeling of security, also an illusion. All lights flicker. Various species experience the threshold of the flickering differently. So we don't know very much about how they experience it, such as birds flying by. But we do know with human beings that lights cause neurological and physiological problems. For babies, lights can cause discomfort and distress. Flashing lights disrupt sleeping patterns. Prolonged exposure can cause overstimulation and seizures in susceptible people. Similarly to the ways that different people experience motion detector lights, there are also various experiences derived from the doorbell cameras. You people out in the suburbs are, rewarding yourself and rewinding when you spot a squirrel on your doorstep. There's hooray, I got my package. There's my husband's home. But in my neighborhood, the doorbell camera is 10 feet in front of your own door. In my neighborhood, the front steps are or were a place to sit and for children to play. And now they're recorded 24/7. Even if the neighbor and their friends and family are very well-meaning, that is a very uncomfortable situation. Children lose interest in going outside to play. People avoid discomfort. Technology will proceed. I'm not stopping it, but we need to safeguard children from being bullied by it. A la 1984, eventually AI will watch the watchers for obsessive behavior. With enough data, crime will become more predictable. The police will be able to focus on preventing crime instead of mopping it up. In the meantime, let's make the neighborhoods nice for children.
Thank you. Next is John Rizzari.
Good evening, everyone. John Bizzari, recent former resident of Upper Darby Township and is allowed under the Home Rule Charter, a concerned person addressing this council. I sold my Drexel Hill home on September 30th after nearly 28 years of ownership. I want to share two recent experiences that reveal how burdensome and poorly managed the township's process have become for homeowners. First, the sewer lateral inspection. At the September 17th meeting, I said this program feels like a money grab, and I stand by that. While the township doesn't collect a direct fee for the inspection itself, it benefits when homeowners are bamboozled into believing their lateral has failed and are then forced into unnecessary repairs, which requires townships permits and fees. In my case, I paid for 2 inspections. The first plumber, who initially said my line was in excellent condition, later called to say his manager decided it failed due to misalignments. No report, no video, no transparency. Under settlement pressure, I hired another plumber who passed it, documented everything properly, and submitted it to the township. I paid double because one company saw a payday, and the township still benefits when false failures turn into permitted work. Second, the use and occupancy inspection. Most items were minor, but I was ordered to remove a basement toilet that had existed since before I bought the house in 1997. It was in a separate section within a door, sink, window, and electricity. The inspector told me it violated the International Property Maintenance Code because it shared space with the washer, dryer, and HVAC system. When I questioned that, I was told, and this was the exact example, what if the HVAC system was being worked on and someone had to use the toilet? There would be no privacy. Are you serious? When my HVAC system was replaced 2 years ago, an all-day project, I simply used the upstairs bathroom like any normal person would. That reasoning is absurd. When I asked for the code reference, I was ignored until days before settlement. The section finally cited 503.1 applies to dormitories and boarding houses, not private residences. Yet I was forced to remove a perfectly functional toilet just to close on time. Meanwhile, my cement contractor is still waiting for a sidewalk repair permit. It seems everything in this township system is broken: inspections, permitting, communication, and that's one of the many reasons why I moved. Finally, a bit of irony. Since you passed the earned income tax, the new owner of my home works in Philadelphia. You lost my income tax contribution and gained nothing in return. Multiply that by every family that leaves and your projected revenue will fall short. To current homeowners, consider this warning. Until leadership fixes these broken systems, Upper Darby will keep telling residents, Bohica, bend over, here it comes again. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Becky Duggan.
Good evening, everyone. Just a few quick. Last week, I spoke about how much I appreciate the police and the smoother drop-off line at Highland Park Elementary School, and it's still been very smooth. So this morning, when somebody decided that they didn't like waiting and they turned off of South Cedar next to the Wawa onto Westchester Pike, but oops, the light had already turned green for Westchester Pike. They ran the light well after it had gone red. Almost caused an accident and a road rage incident where the person who he cut off then zoomed up and started to follow him down Lynn Boulevard. I was ready to pull over and call 911 because, you know, people just run red lights wherever they want because they don't care about themselves, I guess, or anybody else. They're in a rush and their lives only matter to them, but they're in a hurry to get to. What if a kid had been there? Could have been very bad. So I think we need to also, you know, maybe step up enforcing red light running. I know you've really stepped up enforcing parking meters, which I find interesting. Somebody asked at the last meeting if there could be a definitive answer or statement made about whether or not the parking is going to be enforced. Just like to have an answer, is the parking going to be enforced during council meetings? And who is subject to it? Mayor, did you pay for parking tonight? Did you put money in the meter or in the machine, the kiosk? David Banto, did you put money in the kiosk? Crandall? Solicitors, did you put money in the kiosk to pay for parking? You expecting, if you didn't, I hope you get a ticket, because I got a ticket. Well, then that's righteous, excellent. Did they put in tonight then, I guess? Or did you get it fixed? You didn't get it fixed, did you? Okay, good. Okay, great. Because I know some people trying to get tickets fixed or claim they're too poor for things to pay tickets. So are we going to get an answer whether or not, I want to hear someone say, yes, parking is 100% enforced and everybody must put money in the meter at the Lot 1 during council meetings? The superintendent's still here. Can he address that? Superintendent Bernhardt?
Ms. Duggan, you're here to address council?
But you don't answer me. Okay, don't answer me. That's fine. All right, we'll move on to another. Then we'll move on to the parking meter fiasco.
The superintendent will address that under the mayor's report.
Pause my time. You're talking.
I'm not pausing your time.
Stop interrupting me. Now I got 3 seconds. I think it's a grift you're trying to take the parking
Tim, I'll
meter
call
money
you up
and
doing my report.
Your time is up, Ms.
Doing
Duggan.
my report.
Thank you.
grifters.
Yeah.
It's fine. Let's just move on to the-
Susan Emery?
He's going to address it. Susan Emery? Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Good evening, folks.
I'm not calling him again.
Ms. Brenner, Godspeed. I've had a chance to talk to you. I was really looking forward to working with you. And I know you have stuff going, and that you're going to be doing great. God bless you, though. Okay. Anyways, since this is my last speech,
I'm sorry, can we just,
thank you.
we could please keep it down in the audience, please. One speaker speaks at a time, okay? Mr. Antonio, you have the floor. I apologize.
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, this being my last speaking engagement before the election, just wanted to speak about a few things. I was looking forward to tonight's budget. Hopefully, there's a good resolution with that. What is concerning is that after the elections, here are a few things that we may be losing a few important people here. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it would be nice to know these things, and if there's a process that's going to go ahead to replace a few of those people. But my fear is that the dwindling finances, the residents are the ones that are going to suffer. There'll be less township services, more money coming out of our taxes, not to mention the passing of the EIT, which a lot of residents were happy with, but it's there, okay? What has been concerning to me has been, during my campaign run, a few people that are running for office here from the other side of the aisle saying that police officers in general are not to be trusted. I take that personally. Now, they're upset because, especially if there's one to be elected to a political position. Well, I've known a lot of cops, and I was one myself for over 40 years, and that's a lot of bunk, okay? There are questionable people in every position. So first and foremost, I am not a politician. I'm a public servant, and I have been since 1978. Second, I think this is the appropriate venue to let you know how I feel about trustworthiness. And I'm on public record right now speaking of this. I haven't spoken of this before. 2 people knew about it, okay? Not long ago, I helped out a family that was about to lose their house after the owner died, okay? I helped these 2 brothers obtain an attorney who was also a judge in Lower Marion Township, one of my judges, Chip Shison, who's still sitting on the bench. He was able, in his role as attorney, to make it so that people could keep their house. Well, shortly after, I received a cashier's check in the amount of $20,000 from that family. And I could have really used that money because it was a 1-year anniversary when I got that check. My wife had just beat breast cancer. And I'll be honest with you, it took a toll on our savings. I don't care what kind of insurance you got, there are things you'll never get back. So I told the judge I couldn't keep the money. And then my boss at the time, my chief at the time, Art, he said, family doesn't want it back, so you want, donate it. And I did.
Well, you're next on the
There you
list,
go.
Mr. Antonio.
Okay, and
So
I
you can
did.
continue.
I donated to a friend of mine. I was actually working the night her husband was killed underground in the subways, but I donated a Maureen Faulkner's Foundation in memory of her husband, Danny, and his money. And this money went to take care of children in Philadelphia whose parent was killed by gun violence. But the real test, if you want to call it, was when I had met the family. When I first met them, they're cleaning out the house. He was a hoarder, but he had money at one time. They asked if there's anything I would like. And I said, yeah, there's a beautiful piece of artwork there I would like. So I took it home. And I kept it until an art dealer, who's a friend of mine, saw it a year later. He told me that what you have is a Pablo Picasso original. I contacted the judge and I told him that I would return it to the family because they had no idea this was a priceless piece of art. Everybody said I was crazy. Every cop in Lower Marion said I was crazy. And maybe I was, because I could have sold it, and right now I'd be very comfortable in my retirement. But I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So I returned it to the judge, who returned it back to the family for auction, and they got a lot of money. So you see, that's the way I roll. I have a conscience, and I've only ever wanted to do what's right, and to this day, I'm living by that code. Now, does that make me a better person to be on council? Or does it mark me as a goofball? I don't know. But what you see is what you get. So thank you for your time, and God bless the returned hostages, both living and dead, to their families in Israel. Let's pray the peace lasts. And also, if I am lucky enough, with all the hard work I've been in, I'm able to sit up there with you folks, I'm 100% disabled, service-related, in an explosion. People know my background, know a little bit about that. If I get the benefits package, which is about a little over $30,000, I don't need it. The VA takes care of me. I would like to donate that to a worthy family that could use those health benefits. At least one family. I mean, it's there. I'm not using it. I guess if some of you guys have to work out, or Mr. Jones, I think that he would think that's a wonderful thing to do. I do, but I don't need it. That's what I would like to do. And to finish it up, how are we doing with the police contract? I haven't heard anything from Chris. I just don't know what's going on. Any movement at all?
CAO, just 20 seconds.
The arbitration, the first step of the arbitration has happened. It went fine, and we're continuing the arbitration.
Okay, we're still going through the process then, right? Okay, that's all. We got to take care of our cops and the firemen. Great presentation tonight. I love seeing stuff like that. We should see more of it, okay? Anyways, thanks a lot, folks.
Thank you. Next is Olivia Taylor.
There's two things I'm going to try to touch on tonight before I run out of time. First and foremost, there was an event, another one Saturday.
I'm sorry. Can we pause Ms. Taylor's time? Please, I'm asking you again, if you guys can please lower your voices. It's hard to hear Ms. Taylor. She's the only one that has the floor.
Thank you.
You can continue, Ms. Taylor. I apologize.
The second event that we wasn't told. Now, the first one wasn't as bad, but you have to keep in mind that there's still a project going on. Aqua has their equipment everywhere. This event Saturday was out of control. Mayor, you were there. You can't tell me you did not see the barriers, the bulldozers, the trucks. On top of that, Cardigan, which is a rectangle, 4 square field, surrounded by houses. Here you have an event with 15-foot speakers. Where the hell did you think the music and the bass from them speakers were going to hit? On the houses. 5 hours of boom, 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 boom. I called everybody I can think of. Everybody I could think of to shut this down. I don't mind partying, but you have to respect the area. What was wrong with 69th Street, which is much bigger, more broader, where the music wouldn't be bouncing off our houses? The lady on the corner just had a newborn baby. She had to leave. You were there. You saw it. But you're so busy posing and you know, for your PR stunt, you know, blowing smoke up their ass. You didn't care about the rest of us. And yes, I called the state police, but there's like, Ms. Taylor, we can't do anything. We don't override our local police. This is not an emergency. I called the news. I sure did. And I don't mind telling you I did. Enough is enough. We have a say in what happens to us, and it needs to stop. 5 hours. 5 hours of that. And the second thing I want to touch on is what Councilwoman had spoke about as far as our first responders back there, Crandall. Is it true that you're changing their plan? Did your plan change as far as the insurance? Did your plan change? Because see, this is where I'm diehard first responder. You understand? I come from a background my family comes from. Let's be clear. So when I hear that they're being, and then it's like they're the first ones that get the axe when y'all want to do something, for which I don't understand. You're not going to run into a burning building. You're not going to patrol our streets at 2 a.m. in the rain or in the snow. So my question to you is why? Even with Barbara Ann, even though she defunded them, she didn't touch the insurance. Why all of a sudden now you two get in here, the insurance needs to change? Please explain that to me. You can have the rest of my,
That's a lie. Nobody's plan changed at all. That's a lie.
Oh, so Councilwoman,
It's
Thank
a
you.
lie. Nobody's plan changed.
Okay, I'm just
Thank you, Ms.
reiterating
Taylor.
what Councilwoman Wagner has spoken.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you.
Make sure it's
Thank you.
got that on record.
Thank you for your comment. Next is Sparrows Pappas.
Hi, Spiro Pappas. I'd like to know if Bond Park, is that part of the Revive and Thrive? Is that part of the Revive and Thrive? Do you know anything about that? No?
We're going to talk about it in a little bit.
I noticed the other, you're, with all the digging and everything and all the activity going there, there's wildlife living back there also. And I don't know if you're disrupting that wildlife by digging back there and everything like that. I took a picture of a deer while I was walking back there. Anyway, on September 19th, I was a little, I saw a video and I was a little upset on September 19th of what went on September 19th at State and Lansdowne after the school let out, the high school. Fights broke out. They were disrupting traffic. They went in the Acme. They raided the freezers. They threw product on the ground. Every day, I think this happens every day down there. It's disgusting with what goes on in State and Lansdowne. There was a video posted about it, about these use going on, and I hope someone takes action and does something about it because it's really disrupting. And I don't think school should start an hour later. We survived at 7:30. I graduated in 78, and we survived at 7:30. This hour later is not right. These kids are supposed to be getting ready for the workforce. And what happens when they enter the workforce? They're not going to be ready for the workforce because they expect to be at start an hour later. So the start time has to change for the school.
Mr. Pappas, there was a school board meeting last night. I would highly advise you to go to the next school board meeting and convey that information, your thoughts and feelings on that, the start time at the school board meeting. We don't have control over that.
I understand that, but you do have control over what happens at State and Lansdowne. And that's really, and I think think we need more police down there to control the situation. But we should be babysitting those students. Those students were your product when you were president. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Steve Crunk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. As you may recall, I, on occasion, previous meeting pointed out that one of the methods used by the masters of MAGA, the apartheid oligarchs Peter Thiel and David Sachs, the special advisor of the president, is to use frontmen who they later call clowns and buffoons. And after the last couple of meetings here, I started to wonder if perhaps that was going on here too. In fact, 2 meetings ago, the big debate and uproar about the EIT, a speaker who supported the mayor and the council, the moral majority of the council stand on this, pointed out that despite all the complaints about corruption, mismanagement, incompetence, that the revenue shortfall of $13 million happened to coincide with Prospect defaulting on $13 million in tax that they owed for the hospital they looted and wrecked. And they didn't just loot $13 million. The figure is in the 600 millions. Okay. So after that, the next meeting, it seemed like somehow all of the short bus people got a lot shorter and quieter. And I was wondering if maybe their masters were concerned that this subject would be brought up, and I would suggest that it should be, because the statement was made right in the open. Well, this is MAGA's fault. They're the ones that gave away the hospitals to these West Coast swindlers and criminals. Bad actors, as somebody, one of the other townships called them I saw in the paper today. Okay, so I said, well, why don't I take a look, see what I can find out, Google, things like that. What could the people running this county 10 years ago have figured out by consulting Google and other things? Okay, and I could not believe what I found in 20 or 30 minutes is that this firm, I just put in the word bankruptcy, boom, 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 one red flag after another. They buy up chains of stores. They bought up J. Crew, for example, take millions of dollars out of them, and then throw them into bankruptcy. And one of these headlines was in the news in March of 2016, before the deal went through with Prospect. Then I found another one, my eyes almost popped out. The master of Mr. Private Equity himself put together a mega deal with a big corporation we've all heard of in 1995. And when I saw the name of that company, I said, oh, I know how that ended, but it doesn't, if anybody was investigating this and the county commissioners or anyone working for them in 2015, if they didn't know this story, all they had to do was take the companies that he dealt with and then put in the words criminal conviction. And it would.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Your time
Thank
is
you.
up.
Next is Barry Hinkle.
Mr. Carmack, I have to have one speaker at the podium at a time.
Okay.
I'd
So,
like to yield my time to Steve.
okay.
Okay.
In case anyone in our viewing audience of the council can't,
The time should continue to run.
I want to really commend Mr. Hinkle for his shirt. MAGA, morons are
I can only have,
governing America. I'm
I
sorry.
can only have one person up at a time, okay?
Okay, yes. Okay, so there's a whole back discussion of what MAGA really stands for. That might be it. Morons are governing America. But then again, there's some very evil people behind the morons. Going back to this question of the Mr. Private Equity, you've all heard of the company, Rite Aid. And I knew how the story turned out, but let me go look in the dates. 1995, when this mega deal is put together to put together 1,000 pharmacy chain and sell it to Rite Aid, done by Mr. Private Equity, the same one whose name is being used to take over our hospitals. A new management and ownership came into control Rite Aid right then, and two brothers, one of whom was made the CEO. And a few years later, and I'll go to the short version, according to court documents, they had been kiting up the stock of Rite Aid based on the fact that Rite Aid, through this mega deal with Mr. Private Equity, had become the biggest drugstore chain in the country. And so a few years later, the CEO and a bunch of the executives for kiting the stock went to jail, and the CEO went to jail for 8 years. Pretty unusual. CEOs usually have a lot of money and good lawyers. This was all on Google 10 or 12 years before they came in. So where was the due diligence? I mean, I mentioned this it's a medical appointment the other day, and I mentioned this to my provider. And he's not a government official or anything or expert. He said, where was the due diligence? And that's a very good question. I would highly recommend bring to the attention of the county officials, the relevant officials. Was there due diligence? And if not, what was that due to? And there's very obvious people that should have done this. There was 5 county commissioners then. And none of the county commissioners now were not there then. Nobody here on this panel was on the county commissioners 10 years ago. They had risk management advisors and other senior advisors who used to be county commissioners advising them. How could they have missed this? Or maybe they didn't. Oh, in case you were wondering about the other brother, this is a famous one. You might have seen it. He went to jail too. He offered a bribe to a public official. And public officials said, oh, come on out. Sure, come, let's fly out here. I'll get a hotel right by the airport. And he did. And he had a hidden video camera and taped this brother, co-owner of Rite Aid, offering him a large bribe, and walked out the door into the arms of the waiting police. So that was a pretty easy case for the prosecutor. But of course, we don't hear, God bless him, but he was in a different state. We don't hear that here.
Thank you, Mr. Khan.
Thank you. Next is Lee Jordan.
Hi, Lee Jordan. I'm here to talk about the parking issue. So the last public meeting, I did get a $25 ticket, and I paid it because I'm a law-abiding citizen. But these meetings are intended to promote transparency, civic engagement, and community involvement. Yet by ticketing attendees, the township is effectively punishing residents for showing up and participating in local government in the very community where we live, pay taxes, and contribute. This policy not only discourages public participation, but sends a troubling message. Residents' voices are only welcome if they can afford to pay the fine for attending. Public meetings should be accessible, not just in location and scheduling, but in practice. Charging people for exercising their right to be heard is unfair and counterproductive to the democratic process. I strongly encourage the township to revisit this policy immediately, consider designating meeting night parking allowances or waivers for attendees. At the very least, residents who can come to engage should not be penalized for doing so. So I just wanted to address that. And Mayor, I think I heard that you're going to talk about that later this evening. I also wanted to talk about the ordinance 3192, which I believe is not being addressed tonight. That's the parking lease agreement with Blue Devil Realty. I have concerns about that. It's my understanding that Blue Devil Realty is the same as Rockwell Development, which is the same owner as Greg Lingo, who has a very big presence in our township. He bought one of the Mazzino properties, and you know he can right now build single homes. He wants to get a multi-use, but I would like the township to reconsider this. Maybe just talk to Blue Devil. Maybe not even charge the residents for parking in the parking lot and enjoying a night out, which would be kind of a nice thing to do. And the last thing is the Mazzino properties, and I will continue coming to these meetings to talk about the developments that are, proposed for both the single homes and, more importantly, the car wash, which is scheduled which is on the right side of Route 1. There was supposed to be a zoning variance hearing, but they did pull the variance, and they can build on part of the property, which is C2. And I just want council to be aware that, there are environmental issues, there are traffic issues, there's a lot of issues concerning this, besides Idlehour Tennis Club, which has been there for 124 years. So I would like you all to consider that. And I think that's it I have, but thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan.
Thank you. Next is Joanne Namavon.
Joanne Namavong. Just to piggyback off of what Lee said. I was here last time and I read the email that I sent everybody on September 24th. I sent it to every single, not to the solicitors, but I sent it to Crandall and to the mayor and to every member of council. And I got not one response. I did speak to 2 council members privately, but I just find that, you all up there want us to respect you and respect you for what you do. But I thought my email was a very genuine ask, a genuine communication asking for a problem to be solved. And I'm just ignored. And it's really troubling. As I said in my email, though, 87 meetings I've come to and never had to pay for parking. And now all of a sudden we're not told that now you're ticketing people. And it feels like it's a slap in the face to the people who come. As Lee said, we're coming to engage with our government, and we can't do that because I'm curious as to whether the beautiful young boy that was here, whether his parents went out to a parking ticket on their car. That'll be interesting if we ever find that out. It's not right, and I'm very upset about it. Then the other thing I want to ask about is regarding the advertisements for ordinances. In the past, ordinances were always advertised in the online version of the Delco Times. Now, all of a sudden, after January, they're not there anymore. Why is that? Can we get an answer on that?
I can look into it and get back to you, but to my knowledge, it's submitted to the Delco Times. And
Yeah, but I mean, it's not on the online version anymore.
all right, I'll look into it as the
It
council
costs more
president.
money. I mean, and I guess for the next ordinance, it's going to be on the agenda. When will that be advertised and where can I find the advertisement?
I'm sorry, you were a little bit muffled when you asked your question.
I'm sorry, I don't like this microphone, it's awful. No offense, Eric. When will the parking, the 3192, when will that be advertised, and where can I find the advertisement? Like what day? Because I can't afford to go buy the Daily Times every day at the
No,
Wawa. I'm
I
not
totally
gonna do it.
understand that. So number one, I'm going to
I
look.
pay for the online subscription, so I thought I'd be able to get the information.
I'm going to look into what you said, bring it to my attention that it's not being posted online. And moving forward, I'll try to make sure it's posted online, okay? I don't know what the discrepancy is, and I can't tell you that now.
Okay.
But what I can tell you is, in the next meeting, I should have an update for you, okay?
Okay, but can we just find out when is it going to be advertised? What day? Do we have a date for that?
No, we don't have a date, but it will be placed on.
No, I want to know when the advertisement is.
Sorry, I can't do that.
Well, I would appreciate if someone would answer it. Someone answer it, please.
Before it's advertised.
Thank you. Next is Coretta Kinder. No. Kinder, sorry. It's my first time here. Good evening. Praise the Lord. God bless everybody. This is my first time. I'm originally from Chester, PA, born and raised. I've been up in Upper Darby for 17 years. I have two sons, an older son that's almost 30, and I have a 13-year-old that was in the school system here, but he goes out of the school system now because I wasn't pleased with the school system in Upper Darby. I've been in the school system for a long time. I worked in the school system. I'm a active parent in the school system, and I just want the kids to be safe. I've seen a lot of stuff going, working in the school systems and stuff like that. I see a lot of people going through red lights, they go through red lights. I've seen them go around the bus and stuff like that. I just want them to be safe. I'll be out there with my son at 6:16 in the morning. It should be a little more light out there, during that time. It's only just the three of us out there, no police or anything like that. I'm concerned about my 13-year-old staying active. I noticed that there's not a lot of activity going on around here as far as in Chester, he's at the Boys and Girls Club. They have Chester Biddy. They have a whole lot of stuff. And I was wondering, or who would I be able to talk to about some activities that he can get into around here? If anybody that I can, hook up with or talk to about that, and also about the bus situation, Upper Darby bus situation. We had a real big problem in the beginning, but they're starting to work it out.
So thank you for sharing that. So a couple of things in regards to the school district concerns, which the bus will fall under the school system. We will connect you with someone from the school board, but we will also connect you with someone from the recreation department to keep you informed of the things that are going on locally. If you can just connect, if you can give your information to one of the representatives from the township in the back, if you guys could just raise your hand. Thank you, Eric, great guy. If you can just give your information to him, someone will circle back with you on those two issues, okay?
Okay, and I just wanted to say this is my first time here. Appreciate everybody that's here that took the time out, that looks like they're concerned about what's going on in Upper Darby. I'm concerned because I'm a resident here over 17 years, as I said. And I would like to, get involved with whatever I can to help make it better around here.
Thank you. You can see Mr. Eric in the back.
Next is Richard A. Bly.
Psalms 91, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the High, Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him I will trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, and keep thee in all thy ways. Thou shalt bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shall trample under feet, because he has set his love upon me. Therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him, and I will honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. I am a child of the Most High, and I come bearing witness to the wickedness of members of this council. First of all, Jess Barnes, do me a favor. Don't ever touch me again. I don't know what's going on in your spirit, but I can tell you right now, don't ever touch me again. Marion, you and I have had a standing agreement for 5 years, and I understand that you had to take his place. But do me a favor. When you get into that spot, I'm going to watch myself for your decorum. But I'm going to remind you, we have a standing agreement. I've never called your name in 5 years. I've never had a reason to call your name in 5 years. I want to keep it that way. Okay? Between you and I, because that was a gentleman's agreement for 5 years. Now, you can tell them what the agreement is. I don't care. But we've had that agreement. The Watkins Center, remember what I told you? You forget about that night? I ain't forget about it. Still believe in freedom of speech, Mr. McNeely? Still believe in freedom of speech? You certainly do. Good. Because here there's conversations about clowns. What's up, Ed? You know why I'm here, clown. You know I'm here for you stepping on top of my First Amendment rights, clown. You know exactly how you smirk again.
Thank you,
clown.
Mr. Bly. Your time is up.
You, clown.
Thank you, Mr. Bly.
Okay,
Your
you
time
got
is
it?
up. Thank you, Mr. Bly. Please,
Thank you.
please leave the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next is Earl Gorski. He just left. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Good evening. I'd like to turn over my time to my neighbor, Ed Bolden, about the traffic calming study. Good evening, everybody. I am Jim Bolden. I live at 7009
Kate.
Wayne Avenue. I put in a traffic calming request for the blocks of 7,000, 7,000, or 7,100 and 7,200 Wayne Avenue a year ago. And they started to do a survey. They were counting traffic and such. They did 2 of the 3 blocks, and then it just kind of stopped. And I was just wondering, who do I need to speak to? Because I've sent emails to the common email of Upper Darby. I've sent emails to a Paige Steckel. No replies anymore. I wonder, who can I speak to get this going again?
Thank you for bringing that concern. You can see Mr. Eric in the back, but just, no, he said Eric. So I do apologize. Within the year, there's been changes within the traffic study, which is no fault of yours. I'm sure Mr. Eric will brief you, and we can get you connected and get the study either continued or let you know where they are with it. if that's okay.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, Eric Spector.
Thank you. Sydney John.
Sydney John.
Sydney John.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It's the three of us neighbors who were trying to do this thing about the speed on Wayne Avenue. We were asking for speed bumps and all. I don't know what's going to happen. Apart from that, I've been in Upper Darby since 1977. I bought my house in 1994. When we first came here, me and my late brother and his wife, the whole township was nice. The kids get off school, you don't see them in the street. They walk to them and go home. You don't see them out. But now, go down State Road around 1 p.m., 1:30, State Road and Lansdowne Avenue, it's a mess down there in all the shopping area. I don't know why that takes place. Something has to be done about it. Something has to be done about it.
Mr. John, your neighbors are actually in the hallway discussing the traffic calming concerns with one of the representatives of the township. I think if you join them, we can get a resolution to where they are with the traffic study.
Okay.
He's free to have the time, but
you still have?
Yeah, but he's here about a concern and they're addressing it outside.
Oh my God.
You guys are trying to say something. I have to. Please move on to. Yeah, but about the traffic study, so instead of neighbors.
Because the concerns mostly about this young.
Yeah. Please, thank you.
About the young kids. They need to be brought up the right way. At home, in school.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, sir, Mr. John. Please have his time run and he can continue speaking. Thank you.
You know? Okay. Yeah, like I said, they need to be brought up the right way at home and in school. So they would be nice kids when they grow up. They won't have problems. But, I mean, I'm so surprised at what's going on now in this township. It's as if you say, what am I doing here? I should be some other place. And one other thing, with seniors, why should seniors be paying, when you own a house, you be paying the same amount for school tax that people who are still working are paying? The school tax is too high for seniors. My daughter didn't go to public school. She went to Catholic school. She finished up at Pendergast, that's where she went. And I was paying her school fees all the time. You know?
Thank you.
Mr. John.
Mr. John, can I address him?
Yeah.
Mr. John, if you have safety concerns, okay, I'm trying to get his attention.
Next is Stacy. I can't pronounce your last name. Stacy K. Oh, okay. Didn't see the O. Sorry about that.
No problem. Hi, everyone. My name is Stacy Olkowski. I am the founder of the Delco Skate Park Coalition, which is a 501c3 nonprofit that we founded in 2020 to advocate and fundraise for all wheels and adaptive skate parks in Delaware County. We have been working with Upper Darby since 2021 when we co-hosted a pop-up skate park at Observatory Field with your Leisure Services department. It was a great success. There was a couple hundred people that came to that event, some council members. actually got up on a skateboard themselves. And from there, we started working much more closely with the township to make this project a reality. From there, we did a park evaluation where we looked at factors for conduciveness to this type of park, and have actually found that Observatory was the best site for it. With that in mind and the support that we were getting from the community, from the neighborhood, and from Upper Darby at that time, we applied and received in 2022 a $250,000 grant from Delaware County Greenways for this project. This will be the very first adaptive and ADA forward park for athletes of all abilities and all wheels, not just in Delaware County, but by my accounting within the state of Pennsylvania. And that will be right here in Upper Darby. A park like this is meant to have progressive features so people can roll in, whether they are on skateboards or rollerblades or wheelchairs, and be able to use the park on many aspects of the park. We want to give alternative recreation spaces for kids because kids need something to do. And I will tell you that it will be the most used part of your public park space. So we're very excited about this project. And I want to thank the council and the administration for the support overall for getting the skate park done. We have agreed to raise an additional $50,000 for this project, which will account for another large chunk of the budget. But we do look forward to working with you in the future and seeing this come to fruition for the kids of Upper Darby. Hopefully one of them will be an Olympic skateboarder, and working with you on getting that in the budget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Judy Duggan.
David, can you just give it to the clerk, please? The municipal clerk? Yeah. Yeah, he can give it to, yeah. Thank you.
Good evening. I wanted to bring to your attention that one of your long-term township vendors is ripping off the general public. And I had 2 vehicles towed by the direction of the Upper Darby Police Department. And I understand, I looked up an ordinance, it's 290-2, and it says that the towing of any vehicle in Upper Darby is $65 for the tow and $25 per day. And I just gave her copies of the receipts. They were $700 for one vehicle and $550 for another vehicle. And when I went to pick up the 2 vehicles, I only got 1 vehicle back, but they made me pay for 2 vehicles to get the 1 vehicle back. So I had to pay $1,250. And I talked to Mr. Bernhardt about it, and he said, take it to court. I have already sued Ridley Township, Ridley Park Borough, Lansdowne Borough, and East Lansdowne in federal court. I have a towing company, and I get jammed up with these tow ordinances. And I had my attorney call the solicitor on Friday, and she never got a call back. I can save this township a lot of money in unnecessary litigation if you don't want to go to federal court, and we can resolve this. I want to make sure you know, you have a vendor that is ripping off the public. This board voted and approved $65 on any vehicle. To me, any vehicle includes Maseratis, Ferraris, tractor trailers loaded with hazardous materials. You can see I'm upset by this. They towed 2 cars, I got 1 back, and I had to pay $1,250. I don't know, Mr. Bernhardt doesn't seem to think that's extortion or theft, but I seem to think it should be investigated by the police department. And then I talked to the Call One Center, Crystal Henry, and I asked who enforces when there's an ordinance, 290-2, that says 65 for tows and 25 for storage. Who enforces it? She doesn't even know. So then I asked her, well, can they add on fees? Is it $65 because they're adding on a $250 administration fee, a $100 labor fee? Oh, by the way, even though it's 60, the ordinance 290-2 says 65 and 25, they're charging $100 per day for storage. So I think this township needs to know, you got a vendor that's ripping off the public and township residents on the tune of $500 per tow.
Thank you.
The ordinance that you referenced was from December 4th, 1996. We're going to look into it. It may be outdated. That was before I was.
Well, I know on my.
We were contacted by an attorney on Friday. Unfortunately, for some reason, they sent the email to one of the attorneys in my office who doesn't do any work for the township. So it didn't get to Lauren and I until over the weekend. We're looking into this matter. I don't know if your attorney is Janine Bauer.
Yes, it is, Janine Bauer.
Yep. So we were contacted by Janine Bauer on Friday. Like I said, they sent it to an attorney in our office. Lauren and I got it over the weekend. We discussed it yesterday, and we're taking a look at it, figuring out what's going on, and then we were going to double back with Mr. Jones and the superintendent.
Yeah, and then we just get an update on council.
Sure.
If it can be completed prior to the next meeting, that'll be good. Thank you.
Well, I hope we can resolve this without litigation.
Thank you, sir. Your time is up.
Mr. Bernhardt seems to think that.
Thank you. Your time is up, sir.
Litigation.
Please leave the podium.
Thank you. Next is Stephanie Nottingham. You have to.
Hello, council. I want to remind everyone that there is an election next Tuesday, November the 4th. So if you're sick and tired of your current elected officials doing the job that they're not doing, you can vote them out, unvote them. Because when I voted for Laura Wentz, and the last time was 2001, I voted for her to represent me, and my family voted for her too. She has not met my expectation, so I want her out. I want to stop. I don't want her having any more of my tax dollars, okay? Her house is still a mess. It's horrendous. And I don't even know why she picked the slogan, I mean, living next door to me, revitalize the community and improve the quality of life. Who was her manager? I mean, that was just stupid, okay? Especially living next door to me. You can't even walk down the street on the sidewalk because the tree on her sidewalk take up 75% of the payment. I swear, my neighbor who had a baby boy, girl, he could not even push his baby girl down the street in the stroller. And I saw her, I said, cut your daggone bushes. He can't even walk down the street. He had to walk in the street. He couldn't walk down the sidewalk because her tree is taking up the damn sidewalk. Okay, and when her bushes is not cut and it's raining and stuff, you gotta squeeze. If you're not a large person, you gotta squeeze past that. The pavement is being torn up. If the kids are running down the street, they're gonna trip and fall. And I spoke to my neighbor that lived next door to her. Her name is Corey. Okay, Corey was like me, Christ-like, trying to be patient, pray for it. But even Jesus got mad. He flipped the table for the hypocrisy that they was doing. Okay, so I have a righteous anger. Okay, her tree is laying. The lady that came up here and talk about these trees, her tree is laying on Corey's roof. Okay, I mean the leaves, the snow, and everything, destroying Corey's house. I swear, God is my witness. I talked to Corey last night when I was putting my recycle out. Corey was like just so depressed. I told her last night. I said, even Jesus get angry. Maybe when your roof fall in, you'll confront her about that. Corey house is a mess. She want to move. It's a mess. Her yard is still a junkyard. Laura Went's yard is still a junkyard. She does not want to revitalize the community. I would vote for Kyle McIntyre and Noah Fields to get her out of here. Kyle has been doing the work way before he became an activist. He's an activist, and now he wants to. He got a master's degree. Okay, so he's educated in this. Please, and please vote to retain the judges. Okay, please, everybody, get out there to vote. Vote. Okay, find out where you have to go to vote. I'll be working the polls, so I hope I see y'all in 4th District.
Thank you, Ms. Nottingham.
Thank you. Justine?
How to top that? Anyway, I completely disagree with, calling out specific council members. And I'm actually really surprised that you guys allow that to go on. But while we're at it, don't vote for District 5, Myra McNeely. So anyway, while we're here, since we can crap on our district, District 5 stinks. Do not vote for Myra McNeely. Since we're allowed to do that, that's where I'll say my 2 cents. Anyway, speaking about voting, I know this may be bigger than us, but it may trickle down to us. So I wanted to ask the council to propose or create a formal ordinance that explicitly codifies voting rights for every resident in this township. It may seem like it's bigger than us right now, but a lot of times that has a trickle-down effect. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention since certain decisions will be made today or by the end of the week. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You can look it up. You're grown. Second of all, when are we ever going to get interpreters in our council meetings? It was always stated in our council meetings that kids at the high school speak 100 languages? Am I right, wrong, whatever? If they speak 100 languages, then they're getting that from their household, their parents, their family members. So why don't we at least have a deaf interpreter, any type of interpretation, especially for the people that have to watch online, for the people that cannot make it to the council meetings for whatever reason, whether they're disabled, whether, they just recently had surgery. We never talk about those people, the ones that are online, or people that work night shifts like I used to. After the mayor called me out one time, when I called you out for all saying you came to all of your doorsteps and no one came to mine, he called me out for not being here in attendance. But like I reminded him, some of us work night shift at the time and are not able to make the meetings, so we do have to live stream. You're not allowed to speak on live stream. It is what it is. But we need to talk about having interpreters here. At least start out with a deaf interpreter, volunteer, whatever. And please try to get an ordinance to codify voting rights. Because like I said, it's all fun and games till it trickles down to local governments. Oh yeah, and don't vote for Myra McNeely in District 5. All right, thank you. Thank you. He stinks. He can't even clean it up. Please vote for Laura Wentz. She's amazing because unlike her dumb neighbor, who just comes up here and harasses her twice a month, who cares? Good riddance. You shouldn't be harassing council people that were voted into their respective positions. Because Myron McNeely wasn't voted, he was appointed, so don't vote for him. Anyway, that ends my message.
Thank you.
Thank you all residents for sharing your public comments on the public forum. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion on the floor for council to approve the October 1st, 2025 committee
Motion
meeting
to
minutes?
approve.
Motion made by Councilor McNeely, seconded by Councilor Banto. There's a motion second on the floor. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is our Honorable Mayor Ed Brown.
Good evening, President Tunis, Vice President Minnick, Secretary Billups, Council, Administration, and the taxpayers, citizens, and residents of Upper Darby. Thank you all for attending tonight's meeting. During our last meeting 2 weeks ago, Vice President Minnick, Secretary Billups, CAO Jones, and I were in the area attending the 2025 PA Municipal League Summit. It was great attending this 4-day conference with other elected officials and appointed officials from all parts of the state. It is clear from networking with my counterparts that we share a lot of the same concerns and are working on some of the same initiatives. One of the most informative sessions that I attended was the keynote session that featured Mike Hinkson, who led hundreds of people who escaped from the North Tower of the World Trade Center on 9/11 with his service dog. He has been blind since birth, so it was inspirational hearing his life story and how he never let his blindness stop him from achieving greatness. Other sessions included one called Capitalize, Not Cannibalize, which provided best practices for monetizing your infrastructure, and another session called From Blight to Bright, and provided great information on leveraging land banks for community development. Lastly, the Erie Historical and Agricultural Tour included a visit to the Hagen Historic History Center and the Birch Farms Country Market. Erie is a beautiful place, and I can't wait to visit again. On Saturday, October 11th, I attended the Diwali event at the Cardington Recreation Area Park and had a wonderful time. It was well attended despite the drizzling rain, and the entertainment from the youth was excellent. President Tunis, Vice President Minnick, Secretary Billups, and Council, that completes this portion of my mayor's message. So I think next is a resolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, the mayor has the floor. Listen, the mayor has the floor. This is your first warning, okay? Yes, you keep talking out of turn. Thank you. Okay, the next item under the mayor's message is the request for the Shade Tree Commissioner appointment, a request for council to approve resolution number 2925, appointing Rajender Murray to the Shade Tree Commission. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Motion made by Council Secretary Billups, seconded by Councilor Banto.
Do we want to read the whereas clauses?
If you would like it.
Okay. I will. I think that's been requested in the past. Whereas the Upper Darby Township Code has created and established a Shade Tree Commission consisting of 3 citizens of the township to be appointed by the mayor, code at 506-2, and whereas the Upper Darby Township Home Rule Charter provides that the mayor shall appoint all members of all authorities, boards, and commissions with the approval of 6 members of council, the charter at 6-403.j, and whereas the Shade Tree Commission has the authority and responsibilities as set forth in 506-2 of the code, and whereas after review of his application for same, the mayor desires to appoint Rajwinder Marar to the Shade Tree Commission, and whereas township believes it to be in the best interest of the township to approve the appointment of Rajwinder Marar to the Shade Tree Commission.
Thank you for the reading, Mayor Ed Brown. There's a motion and second on the floor. There's no questions or comments from members of council. All in favor to appoint Mr. Rajwinder Murray to the Shade Tree Commission? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is the Revive and Thrive Parks Initiative Progress Report. Council members, there is a packet with this information. this information is in your packet, so you can follow along. We could just have a quick presentation from members of the administration or whoever.
There's some verbiage from me. I'm going to.
Oh, okay.
Some words first.
All right, Mayor Brown.
Okay, this is regarding the Revive and Thrive Progress Report. I would like to start by thanking you, the residents of Upper Darby, for your continued enthusiasm and support of the Revive and Thrive Parks Initiative. I was happy to see so many of you attend our community input meetings and fill out surveys, and even happier to see so many young children excitedly cast their votes for their favorite playground equipment. Your feedback has been heard, and our engineers have compiled them into a report which has been shared with council. With this report, our Public Works team has begun the planning and procurement process for the new playground equipment. Now I'd like to share the video. Okay. For those of you who could not attend our community input meetings, these are the types of playground equipment you can expect to see in your local parks. The most popular equipment, the equipment with the most votes, has been marked with gold stars. So when can you expect to see the change in your local playgrounds? I'm happy to announce that construction will begin in December and all 10 parks will be completed by July of 2026, just in time for the weather to get nicer. On behalf of the entire township team, thank you for being a part of this journey. Thank you for your ideas, your passion, and your belief in what we can build together. Let's keep the momentum going. That completes my mayor's message. Thank you. Oh, yep. Superintendent Bernhardt, I wanted you to speak. I think there was a few comments made in your, while you were here that you can address better than any of us. So please come up.
Absolutely. Good evening, Mayor, Council, members in the audience. So when the parking department under our control the first of the year, I was never made aware, and I still am not, of any ordinance or a memo that said that the parking lot, Lot 1, was to not be enforced. We have hired new parking ticket writers in the parking department. They are assigned different zones and sectors in the township and are told that those are their zones. We never told them to write in a lot or not to write in another. That particular zone is in one of their assigned areas, and that new ticket writer is writing in this area. So I have no information, no knowledge. I don't have a memo, and there's no ordinance that I can find within the parking department or the police department that states that at any time that that lot was not to be ticketed. That lot is not supervisor manned 24/7. There would be no way for us to monitor who is parking in there or who isn't. We know that that lot is used throughout the day and night for shopping in the district down here as well as the H Mart. So that's my short answer for it. I'm not aware of there being any memo to not enforce.
Thank you for sharing that. I just wanted to have them hear you say that, but we don't want to make the attending the council meeting cost prohibitive or deter people from attending. So certainly CAO Jones, I asked him to take a look at a policy or some mechanism to make sure we give consideration to the people that attend the meeting and not have one more thing for them to be concerned about while they're focused on coming here. So CAO Jones, I don't know if you want to comment.
Because it's revenue based, we're talking about it. I just need to get, and we'll have for the council at the next meeting, we certainly can suspend it until you do this. But this is revenue based. I don't have the authority to waive revenue. Only the council does. And so we'll have something before you if you approve us to adjust those hours that we are not charging. I'm fine with doing it. We just need direction.
So I just want to add, we're not looking to gain revenue from people attending the council meeting. I want to state that for the record, that I'm not looking to gain any revenue.
Absolutely.
It's not enough people here that it doesn't make sense. That's not the message I want to send. That's what I'm saying as mayor. Okay.
It's a fee. That's all I'm saying. It's a fee, and I don't have the authority to change the fee. Only the council does. And if you waive that, I'm fine with it. It's a directive of council, and we'll have something in front of you to do so.
Just real quick, CAO Jones, can we get this to the Public Safety Committee and be ready before the November 5th meeting? And can we suspend it for people that we know come to council meetings until we have an ordinance? Because it can't be done by resolution, it needs to be done by ordinance. It won't, the resolution.
If that's your desire, we certainly will do it.
All right, I'm gonna this is out of turn, but I'm just gonna give some time to Councilor Wagner and Councilor Banto.
Thanks. Just real quickly, I mean, I can tell you that I received a ticket at the last meeting, and Councilman Andrusco did as well. It's funny that we're two of the ones that did, but we have placards. Like, they gave us these, I don't know, passes basically for the lot, and yet we still got these tickets. Frankly, I don't want to be accused of trying to fix anything. I'm just going to go ahead and pay it. But Councilman Andrusco and I both had those in our cars, and we still got tickets. So that is kind of a problem. And I've been coming to these. I've been coming to these for 20 years and these meetings, and that has never been an issue, is that people were getting ticketed. So that, and I'm not putting that on you. I'm just saying that, it's never been an issue. And now suddenly, even with our passes in the car, we're still getting ticketed. So that's,
Yeah.
and I don't care. I mean, frankly, I don't care. I have to be here. But the people who don't have to be here, who come here out of, care for the township, and not that I don't have care for the township, but they come here for care out of the township and just want to be here for the betterment and to be able to attend these meetings. I just think that if we can suspend it and if we can all get on board to agree that they shouldn't have to pay. Mayor, thank you for saying that you're not looking for revenue. I mean, what would it be, $3 a piece? You know what I mean? If you actually paid the kiosk.
Right.
So thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
I also want to say one thing, and I think if she has the green hanging tag, that, maybe the ticket writer, if they're new, as you said, they didn't see the green hanging tag. She certainly shouldn't have been, or Brian shouldn't have been ticketed if they have the green hanging tag. Is that correct, Superintendent?
We have made them aware of that. I know I spoke with Brian. I don't believe Brian had his in a window or it was visible. And when we do take the tickets issued, a picture of that is taken. So they have been advised of that. And like I said, with the CO, he and I can speak tomorrow. I'm just looking for direction. Once I get that direction, we will, if that's the wish, we will cease.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Councilor Banta?
Yeah, so for the benefit of the listening public, so I don't think this ticket situation is targeting specific people who are coming to the meeting. I received ticket myself. I had a green stuff on my car. I also received ticket. So if we are going to fix the problem, let us deal with fixing the problem instead of blaming it on specific people. This is not targeting anybody. So it was across the board.
Yeah, thank you, Councilor Banta. Once again, I would just also add that council did receive an email from the superintendent notifying us that the new parking attendants are reading it based on plates, and he asked for your plate, your make and model number, so to make sure that they're aware of what's going on. If you didn't get that, I'll make sure to send it, but it was sent to all of council.
Are we sending that directly to the superintendent, or?
It was to the parking email, which was included in this email. I'll make sure you get it if you didn't. I apologize. Councilor Wentz?
Thank you. I'm also concerned, I thank you for what you guys have said about this issue. I'm also concerned about the other township meetings that are held. The zoning board meeting. A lot of people come to deal with zoning issues. We want people to attend, Shade Tree Commission, Planning Commission, Environmental Advisory Commission. We want residents to take part in them. So I would hope that whatever ordinance comes forward, that it includes those types of standard meetings that happen every month, not just council. Because those are all boards and commissions that we want residents to take part in. So.
Yeah, thank you. There's no further comments?
Thank you, Superintendent Bernhardt. Thank you, CAO Jones. Thanks.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the President of Council. As previously stated earlier in the meeting, today at 1:48 p.m., I received a resignation letter from 2nd District Council woman, Jess Brannis, and it was also sent to all of council. Council has to officially accept her resignation. Following the acceptance of the resignation, we'll follow the same process we did with the 5th District vacancy. We announce in collaboration with the administration on social media and on the website that the role is open. We'll do it following the acceptance of the resignation, which is why it's not public yet, because council has to officially accept the resignation. Following that, we will do an interview process and we will appoint the person to council. So is there a motion on the floor to accept Councilor Brannis' resignation? Motion made by Councilor Wagner, seconded by Secretary Billups. There's a motion and second on the floor. Councilor Brannis, would you like the floor to address any members of your district?
Absolutely.
Kate?
Just briefly, this was not an easy decision. Not at all. Not at all. But it has been an extreme honor to serve with every single one of you. Some of you I knew before I even was in government. Many of you I have not. To the residents, you know, as much as the first day on this dais, and for all of you, I have like personal stories that I remember about all of you, but for the residents, the first day on this dais, I remember, I think it was Becky Duggan, if I believe, said, people over politics. And I agree. We don't see that much, either on this dais or even in the audience. We don't see it much right now on TV or in the media. But I believe that everybody here, no matter what side of the fence you're on, whether you're Republican, Democratic, Independent, I do believe we all want what's best. We just maybe have a different vision of what that looks like. I think we all have a different idea on how to get there. I hope going forward with whoever, you know, fills my shoes here in the upcoming election, whoever fills the seats here, takes that seriously and, you know, just comes to a situation where we can, and we have up here on this dais many times, voted together. But I think it's time that we all put aside those political differences and really just make a difference here, because Upper Darby needs it. And you guys deserve it. This whole township deserves it. So I hope that going forward, because I will be watching, believe me, I will be watching, but I do hope to see that come together in the next year for every single one of you.
Thank you, Councilor Brandis. If there's any further comments from members of council? Do you have, I don't know, you just clicked the mic. Secretary Billups?
Jess, it was an honor working with you. I will definitely miss your stories about Nacho.
He's very happy with his grandparents right now, waiting for me to get home.
Yeah, and I pray for the best for you in your next journey. So thank you for being a colleague, and thank you for being a friend.
Thank you. Councilor McNeely?
Yes, Jess, I haven't got to work with you long, but the time that I have shared with you, I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you. And I can only wish you and your family the best.
Councilor Banta?
Thank you, President Tunis. Yes, Jess, pretty much, I mean, you will be out of here, but I mean, your presence will still be around. I know that. You'll be in contact. And, but I really, I mean, enjoy working with you for the short time, 1 year plus. And you know the good news? I have some good photograph of you during the campaign, the presidential campaign, when we went downtown at Temple University. And those picture would be right on my wall. When I think of you, I'll be like, okay, let me place a call. So again, I wish you the best. You are definitely in our prayer. And hopefully things will, you know, on the other end for you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Councilor Silva, I see you're unmuted. Did you have any comments or?
No, I Jess, I just want to wish you good luck in your future ventures. I hope it goes well.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate you.
Thank you. And Councilor Wentz?
Yes, I just wanted to thank you for all your hard work and good luck in your adventures.
Vice President Minnick?
Yeah, this is sad news for me, but I understand. Jess, you've been an awesome counselor and friend, and I'm going to miss you a great deal. So I definitely wish you the best, you, Nacho, and the whole family. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Brandis. I really want to thank you for your service. As you know, I first encountered you when Counselor Wentz was president, and we were trying to do our first Zoom meeting prior to Council Wentz's presidency. No council meetings were live streamed. And you helped us out in a volunteer capacity. And it wasn't as successful as we wanted, but it was the first moment we met. And we worked together in the Pennsylvania House, and that was a great experience. And seeing you run for office, being able to flip a seat, that was historic, and some of the historic legislation you brought forward to council. I'm always going to miss your energy. You light up a room, very personable, and I think your future is bright. And best of luck. Mayor Brown?
Yes. Jess, thank you for your strong advocacy for the residents in your district and your passion. There's no mistaking your passion, and you always know, you always let people know where you are and how you feel about a particular issue, and I highly respect that. So I'm going to miss you, but I know you'll be a big success in your future endeavors, and I'll miss you.
And
Think you have
Councilor
something
Brandis,
for
on
you.
behalf of Upper Darby Township Council and the administration, we want to present you with this plaque. Thank you for your years of service. Okay, yeah, so the public can expect the process to fill the vacancy to be released to the public soon. As of tomorrow is the official resignation of Councilor Brandis. Thank you, council members, for sharing your memories and work with Councilor Brandis. That concludes my report. Then, I'm sorry, thank you. I won't say your name right now, but thank you. Yes, there is a motion and second on the floor to accept the resignation. We've heard comments and concerns. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Council officially accepts the resignation. Just a quick question for the solicitors. Since the resignation is not officially until tomorrow, the 16th, Councilor Brandis can still weigh in on council matters. Am I correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you. That's her choice, but it's there. The next item on the agenda is our Chief Administrative Officer, Crandall Jones, or Upper Darby Township fiscal year 26 proposed budget presentation.
Good evening again, council members. As you know, we had a session where we did provide a preliminary briefing. This is a presentation that myself and Ms. Scooty will do to bring you up to speed on where we are with the mayor's proposed budget for 2026. So tonight we'll do a quick overview of where we are in terms of the 2025 status, talk about fiscal projections for 2026, and at the end have get any input from council in terms of the strategy for 2026 and beyond. So the first point in terms of this is kind of an update in terms of where we are for the 2025 budget. There were some major unbudgeted expenditures that we had in 2025. As you know, we had the emergency management situation come up with EMS as a result of the closure of the hospital. And so in rectifying that, we got into, as you know, the agreement with STAT, which ultimately resulted in about a $525,000 expenditure funds that we had to do to make sure that the township had emergency medical services. The second one was a Cullenbrook Gabion Wall project with the structure, that wall starting to fail in an emergency situation. We, through the emergency procedure, did all the bidding to get that project and start stabilizing that. That project is a $903,650 unanticipated expenditure that we had. As a result, those total unplanned spends is about $1.43 million. And we had initially thought that with this budget, we'd be able to transfer about $1.5 million to capital reserve, but those projects pretty much ate up that. As far as how we're tracking with budget, in terms of our expenditures over revenue versus revenue as of September 30th, we're currently in expenditures about 15% below budget, but we expect that to normalize after the Q4 payment, pension payment, which we usually wait until around December to do because we want to gain as much interest as we can off of those funds before we make the payment. Departmental revenue is tracking at about 12% below the expected goals as well. And then general government revenue, which is real estate, trash, business privilege tax, et cetera, is performing better than we had thought, but which is at 93% of our goals. But it still looks like it might be slightly under what the projections we have. As a result of the budget, as we projected, we shared at the beginning of the year and as we were going through the budget process, that we were kind of facing a fiscal cliff. The 10.56 million in fund balance and the 500,000 in contingency that we budgeted will be used to close in the budget gap as we had projected, consistent with our assumptions that we had at the beginning of the last year's budget process, which is this year's budget. So in terms of considerations that we looked at, we have to look at it for 2026. Obviously, one of the focuses is to maintain services, public safety and otherwise, and to make some targeted operational improvements. The budget, this current proposed budget preserved those service levels and also funds some critical technology upgrades that we need to make for operational and transparency. We definitely funding some improvements to the website. I did, as I heard, the information in public comments regarding transparency on the website and access on the website. One of the things we're engaging a new website vendor, and one of those requirements has to do with accessibility on the website, and so we certainly look to meet that. We've got new finance and HR software that's a part of that process too. We also need, as we shared last year, there's an ongoing plan because there's a great need to upgrade our hardware, software, and some security issues with our IT infrastructure, which we've been making some significant progress in over the past years. Our financial flexibility, as you know, has been and continues to be constrained by the contractual obligations that we have, and we're meeting those. Union negotiations, both with FOP and IAFF, the firefighters, are underway. Arbitration is actually happening with the FOP and IAFF. We are having ongoing negotiation meetings. Our healthcare costs, again, they do remain high and are growing, but we got a 5.9% projection of a health increase in the increase of our health plans for the year, and so we're budgeting for that. The sewer fund continues to be underfunded, and it's kind of facing growing pressure, primarily from the Philadelphia treatment penalties due to exceedances that occur from time to time. And those exceedances seem to be increasing as well as the cost of those exceedances. So we're spending a great deal of time between ourselves, our engineering team, Public Works, myself, and the solicitors in going back and forth with Philadelphia Water Treatment to make sure that they're not overcharging us for the exceedances we have. Capital maintenance as far as the sewer fund, sewer operation is still underfunding. Their capital maintenance needs, as well as generally capital maintenance needs in the organization, don't cover. They're underfunded, and so the fees, et cetera, don't really cover long-term infrastructure costs and some of the maintenance costs, which is why we have sometimes unexpected costs, as I alluded to earlier. I think that we should be definitely looking to consider a commissioner rate study to see what our sewer fees should be and get that information to council. That in itself is going to be a pretty substantial undertaking. So we'll be coming to you next month as a part, in January, as a part of the capital budget process to talk about what that looks like. I think I guess the final framing in terms of what's on this current slide is that in building the 2026 budget, we're looking to just balance operational continuity with long-term infrastructure and technology needs of the township that need to be addressed. But that's challenged by rising fixed costs and some of the underfunding in our services, particularly sewer, and there's some related to public works and the trash operation as well. And so while this budget is not looking at a fee increase for sewer or trash, I think it's something, as you talk about sustainability, that in future budgets, we're going to have to concentrate some efforts in looking at, again, what those fees should be so that they can be aligned with the cost of service. Further considerations, obviously, we have had a lot of discussions related to the library and funding of the library. And as of now, the township, when you put in indirect, direct, in-kind, and facilities expenses that the township has related to the library, we're funding about 90% of their operations. So the mayor and I have been engaged with board members of the library to look at and have been actively in discussions as of even up to last week with the library board to look at options in terms of both funding opportunities that the board can pursue itself and how the township can better assist them in doing that. As we continue those discussions, we're going to be coming back to council to get some input in terms of the long-term funding direction that we need to go in as far as the library is concerned. Other considerations is that in November, we expect that to present, have the consultants present to you an executive summary and release the CPSM fire and EMS study. Then it'll be up to us and you guys to evaluate and decide how we want to respond to some of the recommendations that are going to be included in that study. And those recommendations, I can tell you, I'm pretty sure will have some budget and staffing implications that we all have to consider as we move forward. One of the other big challenges we have and the considerations we have to have for 2026 and beyond is that we're getting a significant amount of property reassessment requests, and these appeals continue to reduce taxable property value in the township. And so part of our focus in this 2026 year, particularly in utilizing the funding that was designated for small business and economic development revitalization, is going to look at some strategies to be presented to try to offset some of those decline and the losses that we're facing in the tax base as a result of reassessment. With the EIT being in place and now adopted, our foundational financial work is underway. We're establishing now fund balance investment in the capital policies. We've been talking and meeting with our financial advisors and attorneys about the initiatives we need to do to secure the credit rating, and also start present to you guys some options for bond borrowing so that we can take the necessary step to do some of the community projects and initiatives that we were intending to do. With that, I will turn it over to Diane, who is going to come forth and kind of walk us through the financials related to the 2026 budget.
All right, so this is just a summary of our revenue 24 to 26. And for 24, it's our actual based on the final draft audit for 24. And then 25 is, and 25 is our approved budget, and 26 is our proposed budget. What I think you'll seem to look unusual is our total gross revenues in 24 are 104 million. But that's primarily due to the interfund transfer we had to do, that we chose to do based on the revenue replacement from ARPA. That was 15.5 million, and that was transferred, as you are aware, to Capital Reserve and to UDAEF, the Upper Darby Arts and Education Foundation. So that 15 million is really an anomaly in 24, not so that it couldn't really compare to 25 and 26. But as you see, we are proposing revenue of 104,737,066. The real estate is primarily flat because we're not increasing the millage. Our local enabling taxes includes an EIT of 17.8 million, and all the other revenue streams are fairly consistent with the prior years. Okay. Overall, this is just the revenue trends for property taxes. As you can see, if you just even look at the past 5 years, we're very consistent, very flat in terms of our property taxes. It's not millage maybe, I think, increased in, I'm sorry, I don't have it right off the top of my head, but millage increased, I think, in 2022, I believe. But also, as Crandall mentioned, our assessments are going down, so that's keeping our property taxes relatively flat. Okay. And the local enabling tax, you'll see a jump in 2022. That was when we implemented the real estate transfer tax, and that's been pretty consistent, our revenue from 22 to 24. There was a dip in 24, and that's, I think, because of a decline in delinquent mercantile and business tax collection. And in 24, based on the 24 audit, as you can see, our real estate taxes are the majority of our revenue at 63%. And our departmental revenue, grants and license and permits and miscellaneous is about 18%. So that's the second highest. And then our solid waste, which is our trash fees, is 10%. Okay. And then in 26, with the EIT, you'll see a decline in our real estate, not such a dependence on our real estate, going down to 54%. And then our local enabling tax would be 22% of the revenue. And then third would be our departmental charges and license and permits, grants, and miscellaneous. Okay. On the expenditure side, looking at 24 through 26, our, of course, our greatest expense is our personnel and benefits. You'll see there in 24, it was 69 million, and in 26, it's proposed at 77 million. This includes, of course, the increase in benefits, as Crandall mentions, it's about 6% from 25 to 26, but also it's our employee increases, which are primarily from the CBAs, ranging anywhere from 3.5 to 3.75 over the last 3 years. Our operating expenses, such as trash collection, gasoline, maintenance of the buildings, that's from 24 actual, about 19.6 to the proposed at 26 is 22.7. Once again, the transfer to capital reserve is in 24 was due to the revenue replacement. In 25, it was the 1.5 million that we most likely will not be taking. And then there was nothing budgeted in 26 for capital reserve, but we did budget an operational reserve at 4.2 million. And that's basically to help start to rebuild the fund balance for the township. Okay. And then our general fund expenses in 24 are primarily your personnel and your benefits and your pension, which are, as you can see, the majority of the pie. And 22% is operating, and the remainder is just all supporting the personnel for the township. And that remains fairly consistent with in 26, and the only difference would be the 4% that we would be putting toward operational reserve. And then just in terms of looking at which departments and where we spend our money, primarily it's police, public works, and fire are the majority of our budget at 9. As you can see, that's definitely the majority of our budget. All the other departments, 11%, and general government, which includes finance, HR, legal, administrative services, is 10% of our budget. And then once again, that kind of follows through to 26 with police, fire, and public works, which is the majority of our expense budget. So of course, expense trends we have from 2015 to 2025, and of course, they're constantly going up due to personnel and just general cost of materials and just everything else, everything that it takes to, equipment that it takes to run the township. From 25 to 26 for personnel and benefits, there's a 4% increase, and then just in the general operating cost, there's like an 11% increase. So just as an overall summary, if looking at the past 24 and then 25 and 26, so just for 26, we propose revenue and expense of 104,737, a balanced budget using EIT as we have discussed, and also including an operational reserve. Moving on to the sinking fund, and the sinking fund is the debt service for our principal and interest for our outstanding bonds. And this is totally funded through real estate, and it is for 26 will be $2 million. And this is just the payment schedule for the year for our current debt. For the highway fund, which is funded through the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, we were notified this past week that we'll be receiving $1.8 million from PennDOT. And this is based on the mileage of state roads and the population. And in fiscal year 26, we are going to budget a almost a $2.7 million carry forward. These are for funds that we have for the 25 road program, we'll be using for the 26 road program, and also for a multimodal grant for 69th Street, which we had talked about previously. About $885,000 of this 2.7 will go toward that grant. The expenses, the 4.7 will spend in the highway fund. 1.5 million goes to personnel for the highway department, and then 3.2 million will be for road repair. The sewer fund, which is funded through the $280 fee, there will be no increase for 2025. And this was also, we are also proposing a balanced budget of 13.1 million. But there's very little put in here for capital and repair and maintenance, only 483,000, and we did that in order to balance the budget. The primary expense in the sewer fund is the sewer fees, which are to the 3 sewer authorities: Philadelphia, Muckampotties, and the Darby Creek Joint Authority, I believe it's called. And then for the trash fee, we're also proposing no increase. The fee, though, does not cover the township's expenses for the trash department. The total revenue estimated would be $9 million, but the direct expenses, which includes the personnel and benefits, would be $10.4 million. The indirect expenses are about $924,000, and that would be a portion of the vehicle maintenance, because 35% of vehicle maintenance is used to repair trash trucks. And then some of the public works administration is also in that cost. So our total expenses would be 11.3, so there would be a deficit in the trash, in looking at the sanitation area, of 2.3 million. The fee schedule was sent to council last week, and that's also available on our website. I don't know if anybody had any questions about the changes. For the fees, there were changes in L&I and zoning and planning. All other fees remain, and I believe in HUD as well, and CDBG. So all other fees remain consistent.
Hey, if council members have questions tonight, they can ask them, but I will certainly be prepared for the first meeting in November. A lot of this information, a lot to take in. We don't have all our full council here. Yeah, it's
Yeah, sorry, there's more. Yeah.
yeah.
So just in terms of the key dates. So everything will be available on the website by tomorrow. I think mostly everything is up as of tonight, because I think Cherie posted everything this evening. The first budget hearing will be November 5th. The second one will be November 19th. And then the appropriation tax and fee ordinance will be adopted on December 4th. And the budget resolution will be proposed to be adopted on November 19th. Sorry.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Councilor Wentz?
Thank you for all of this information. So going back to the expense, I guess, going back to the fund balance as a whole, from what you're showing us this evening, it appears that the fund balance would be at a zero by the end of
This year?
this year, yeah? Is that-
No, our current balance, as of 12/31/24. I have that written down, Laura, so let me just get, was 12.7 million. So I estimate that we'll take, there should possibly be around 2 million, but it could be, there's many factors that go into the fund balance, so it could be more or less. But I don't anticipate it'll be zero.
Okay, so in the very beginning part of what CAO Crandall Jones was talking about, he talked about, as budgeted, the $10,565,093 fund balance, and the $500,000 contingency will have to close the gap for 2025. So my understanding was that 10 million of the fund balance was going to be used to close that gap. But I didn't realize it was 565,000 plus, and then I guess the 500,000 that was set aside for contingency. So it kind of comes out to 11,000. I mean, so I guess, sorry. I guess my question is, was it 10 million of fund balance used for the budget, or is it the $10,565,093?
No, the fund balance that we put in the budget was 10,565,093, but we also budgeted for a contingency. So a contingency helps you for things like the Gabion Wall and the EMS, but that was a budgeted item. That's not fund balance. That was an item in the budget.
Right, no, I understand. So was the contingency used?
I mean, we don't charge things against contingency. We charge things, for example, the EMS is in a separate department so that we can keep track of what we spent on EMS. But you could say, yes, the contingency was used because we're spending it on EMS. But no, we don't charge things against the contingency line. It's a budget item.
So it's just basically a placeholder for extra funds.
It's
as a
for
cushion.
Emergencies such as the Gabion Wall and EMS.
It's
and other
just in the
things.
past, contingency had been cited prior to you, to clarify, as to pay for a lot of random stuff that didn't fit into.
No, we don't
any other
charge
goals.
anything to contingency.
Okay, all right, that helps.
Mhm.
So, but in the page 16 of your side of the equation, you had the 2025 fund balance as NA. The expense trends general fund. So is it
What's the title of the, I'm sorry.
expense trends general fund? So it's after
No, sorry.
2024, 2025 general fund budget summary, highway, sewer. So
Oh,
if you
it's
go
just
from the back-
because we haven't reached 12/31/25. That's why I said it's,
Okay.
NA
because-
maybe it's not. It's just not, we're not there yet.
Okay, okay. It just seemed a little confusing, so.
Sorry.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure my colleagues will have more questions at the next council meeting. Just to remind you, council members, you did receive the full budget on October 3rd. So if you still need the reference, please check your email. Thank you, Diane, for this presentation. I'll now be moving over to the next agenda item.
Sorry. Can we get a printout of everything she sent us? Can I pick up a
What do you mean?
printout?
Yes, Kate, if we can make a printout for Counselor Wentz regarding the budget.
Copier died, so I can't make.
No,
it.
that's fine. No, it's no problem.
For the budget. For everything that Diane had set up, I'll resend you.
It's on October 3rd is when we received it. If you can just print it for Counselor Wentz. Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is motion to advertise the general summary for the 2026 proposed budget and notice of public hearings. Council must hold 2 public hearings on the budget, and this advertisement will be advertised for these hearings for November 5th and November 19th. In addition, the advertisement will indicate that the budget is available for public inspection as required. Also, advertisements must run at least 2 weeks prior to the budget hearing.
So moved.
Motion made by Secretary.
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilor Brannis. It's a motion second on the floor. Any discussion from members of council? Councilor Wentz?
Yeah, we were given 2 different versions of it. It may have just been a spacing version or a spacing issue, one that has the general fund revenue, the revenue on one ending here versus partway on here. I just,
Yeah, I see that. I think,
just a spacing issue versus
yeah, the difference
numbers
is,
changed.
yeah, the difference is I see the spacing. I didn't see the number changes. I caught that. I thought I had the nearest copy. But we do have 2.
I just wanted to make sure because it was a little confusing.
All right, there's no further comments, questions from members of council. All in favor to advertise the general summary of the 2026 proposed budget and notice of public hearings. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, seeing none. Passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda is our solicitors.
Nothing to report this evening.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is old business. Councilor Wagner?
Thank you. I feel compelled to respond to a comment that was made earlier in the night. It's partly old business, partly new business. I don't appreciate nor believe that it was appropriate for the FOP, for Christopher Iserman, or for myself to be referred to as a liar. I don't appreciate that. It's completely disingenuous and says to me that you're defensive, frankly. The fact that I brought up an issue that is happening in the township that directly affects all of our township workers, including our police officers and our firemen, to be told that I was saying a lie is completely offensive. It was wrong of you to say, and frankly, again, shows me that you're being defensive. And that was based on a letter, and I have it in front of me, that was sent to you, Mr. Jones, and was CC'd to the mayor, as well as Mr. Tunis, President Tunis. And that was from the Delaware County Public Schools Healthcare Trust. We did not make this up. We did not lie about it. And the bottom line is, in writing, they say to you that there's going to be a $4.2 million fee that you're going to have to pay. And frankly, Mr. Jones, when I asked you that on October 1st, if you were aware, I specifically said, are you aware of that $4.2 million? You said you've never heard about it, that you were not aware of it. And if you need me to bring it up, it's the beauty of these meetings being videotaped. We can, if need be. But you told me you were not aware. Well, this letter is dated September 12th. I asked you that on October 1st, and you're going to call me a liar? Honestly, I am so offended by the fact that you did that. I would never call anybody up here a liar, and I never have. What you said was wrong. You should apologize for it to me, to the FOP, and to Chris Iserman. And you should apologize to the members of this room for doing it in front of all of them, and because I, as a council member, brought up a concern that was correctly and very, very warranted brought to you. And you're going to sit here and just say it was a lie. You should be ashamed.
CAO Jones, if you'd like to respond.
I would like to respond. First of all, I did not call you a liar. And the question that was asked of me was the issue of whether or not, what was brought up on the floor was whether or not the employees had lost, their insurance had changed. That was a lie. It never changed. That was it. I did not, and so I wasn't talking about you or any, it was a lie, and that lie was put out there. It was spread among the police officers. There was a whole lot of confusion in the township that was put out there. And as I said to council before, we notified the FOP, we notified the IAFF, we notified all of the unions. We had these discussions for months about the health program. So it wasn't about the letter that they were sent, because again, as we've shared, we don't even know the basis of that $4 million charge. But I do apologize if you presumed I was saying you were a liar, because I wasn't. I was saying that the story put out that that health insurance had changed was a lie, and it was.
You're still ignoring the $4.2 million, but okay.
All right, are there any further old?
I want to, oh, I was gonna,
Yeah. Is there further old business?
Council President Tunis, if I may.
Yes.
The email that you referenced in October 3rd, I do not have a copy of, and I would also like a copy.
I'm sorry, we're having trouble hearing you.
The email from November 3rd that you're talking about, that if I could get a copy of that as well, I also do not have a copy of it.
All right, we'll make sure you have a copy.
All right, thank you. I'd appreciate it.
No problem. No further old business, new business? Councilor Minnick, Vice President Minnick.
Upper Darby Community and Economic Development is currently leading a Safe Streets for All study with the goal of making Upper Darby streets safer and more accessible for everyone, whether you walk, bike, drive, or ride transit. All Upper Darby Township residents and visitors are asked to complete a community feedback survey. The survey can be found at the Upper Darby website and social media, in the One Center, and outside this meeting room. The survey is available in Spanish, French, and Bengali. A community feedback session will be held next Thursday, October 23rd at 6 p.m. in the One Center. Thank you for helping us identify how Upper Darby Township can take meaningful steps to provide safer and more inclusive access to transportation options for all users. I'll yield back to the.
Thank you, Vice President Minnick. Are there any further new business?
It's not really new business, but, sorry. It's, council members, when you're finished with your folders, make sure they're empty before we give them back to Kate. They should take all your stuff out your folders, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Billups. If that concludes new business, I'll now ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the
Motion to
motion.
adjourn?
Motion.
Motion made by Secretary Billups, seconded by Councilor McNeely. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
and I almost went to sleep.